it's 9:25 Saturday. Just left, it's about 9 o'clock, so I'm just outside of Dana Point Harbor. There's fog advisory, there's a marine advisory or whatever till 12:15 p.m. afternoon. It was pretty foggy here. It's not too bad out right now. I am running radar and every electronics device known to man, so hopefully we'll be good on that. Alright, somebody's going to bitch about me motoring all the time, but one in Southern California, two, I got a late start because of the fog, and I really want to get to Catalina while it's still light out. So, I'll be motor sailing probably most of the way, if not all the way today, but that's fine. 24.6 miles to go. I've probably got a good 5-6 miles visibility at this point. Just getting passed by the Catalina flyer heading back from Avalon. What else? No fish yet, so still dragging the line, still trying to catch something up in there. Hopefully we'll get something when we get into Avalon. About 20 after 11, no fish yet. So this is what I've been fishing on. It's, I think you need some weights to get it to dive because it's really not diving for me, so I'm going to switch to something else. So we're going to try this motherfucker and see if we hook a yellowfin or a dorado with this. Normally a lure would have to earn the right to be called motherfucker. I'm using the term in advance and hope that the awesome, title of this lure will make it, compel it to actually catch a big ass fish. So we'll see how this works, but this thing's going to dive better off the bow. The other one was just kind of hanging on the top of the water. You ever wonder where your balloons go when you let them up into the air? They go into the ocean. That's about 7 miles away from shore. Okay, it's 12:36 p.m. I have just a little bit under 16 nautical miles to Avalon. Starting to get a little bit interesting getting in towards the shipping lane. So there's a little blinky triangle there. That looks like the Catalina Express. So you see that on AIS, they're transmitting. And then we got another boat here. What's that? That's the, we'll zoom in on that. That is the Nautilus. Looks like they're about 5 miles away and they're doing 10.9 knots. So headed to San Pedro. You look closely out there, you do see a boat. Probably not going to show up on this very well, but it's out there. Let me cancel out of that, and you'll see another boat just straight ahead, a little bit off the starboard. Another ship, I should say. So let's take a look and see if we see it. And if you look closely, you can see it out there. So this AIS thing's pretty nice. Depending upon the range, sometimes you'll see things on radar and sometimes not. So there's the radar signal. And let's see what that ship is. Not worried about him. We're going to clear probably well behind him. So that's the new Solution. That one is also doing 11.9 knots. 195 foot beam. It's a tanker, so that's a pretty damn big boat. But we're not going to go anywhere near that. We'll travel well behind them. Catalina Express isn't too concerned. Those guys are flying, so how fast are they going? I'm gonna guess about 25 knots. 25.6 knots. 26 knots, so those guys are hauling. So we'll get there a few hours after they do. So depending on what's going on here, I might hail the Nautilus. I see him popping up on radar now. All right, well, things are getting a little bit more interesting now. It's just a little bit before 1 p.m. Getting ready to enter the shipping lanes. There's the Nautilus, so probably going to have to duck underneath him. It might just barely pass in front of me. We'll have to see. He is currently where? So he's 2.3 miles away right now. You can see him on the radar as well as on the AIS.
Vessel life is grand. Vessel life is grand.
So he's moving. That big tanker is now directly in front of us. That huge tanker. So let's take a look at that. If you look straight ahead, you can see a huge tanker out there. That thing's an absolute monster. So I think we're okay with the Nautilus. We're getting a little closer. Just duck behind him. Well, this worked well. Nautilus, they're at about a mile range now. You can see the super tanker in the background. So he's going twice as fast as we are, so I didn't even have to adjust course, and we're gonna slip right in behind him. So that eases a little bit of the stress there crossing the shipping lane. So once I figured out I was going to be well clear astern of him, and he was going to pass through, I didn't bother hailing him on the radio. If it would have been a little bit more in doubt, I would have done that. I'm inclined to try and sail back tomorrow if I've got good wind, but I think it's probably going to be largely a lot like today. It might be a little bit lighter. The wind's going to shift a little bit, so I think what's going to wind up happening between now and the next 3 hours it's going to take me to get into Avalon is the wind's probably going to be right on my nose. It's going to turn a little bit, and then it'll slow me down a little coming in. Well, it's 3 o'clock. I'm 4 miles out from Avalon. Just check the City of Avalon mooring availability site. So no boats in the 30-foot range, no boats less than 30 feet. So 30 feet and 40 feet moorings are all taken. Looks like there's a couple left at Descanso and some more in Hamilton, only for bigger boats. So see what happens. Hopefully maybe one pops open or something like that and I can get a place to park. Okay, 352. Moment of truth. Let's see if we can get a mooring. Howdy. Good. Looking for a mooring, 27 foot.
Made a point?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a long day.
Well, I hate to be the pair of bad names, but we sold out inside. We got moorings outside.
Okay.
It's fairly flat. It's not too bad. So, all right.
I guess I'll take whatever I can get.
You came this far, you got to, right?
Yeah.
Let me double check. I don't believe I'm not.
Can I do debit or you need cash?
Debit's fine. Okay, we get a receipt there.
Is it towards the inside?
Yeah, right along the beach.
Okay, right along the beach?
Yeah, where the rocks, just before the rocks turn into the beach itself.
Okay.
Okay, first try win.
Gotcha.
Right around the dock park.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
So if I'm correct, these big buoys mark the dive park, so there's a nice scuba diving park there. I hear it's pretty awesome. And then right along the inside is the this Descanso. So I'll be somewhere close to the beach. Well, this sucks. Let's take a look, see what's going on. Back it up now, there's a massive big ass chunk of kelp there. So I'm gonna try and back off it a little bit. See if that works. So this really sucks. It's 4:30. I'm tied up in the mooring. I hit kelp on my way in. It wrapped around, I think, the prop. I'm not sure if I got it all off or not. So I got to go down and dive and get in before it gets dark. Of course, my contacts are on the other boat. I thought I had a spare pack with me. I didn't bring them, so I'm gonna be halfway blind down there too. This is really gonna suck. All right, Operation Inspect Prop Shaft for kelp. This water is cold AF. All right. Got it, wrapped around it pretty good. So you go through all this bullshit just to get down here. 7 hours is what it took me to get down here. Prop wrapped up in kelp, so I had to deal with that. Fish all the way, didn't catch anything. Barely have music, because the music, unfortunately, is streamed over the network on my phone, and I didn't save anything locally. So hopefully I can still have music for a while. Got a little bit of Marley Jam in there. And it looks like I'm having steak tonight, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, and now we season the steak with Demerol and Percocet, or as Debbie likes to call it, salt and pepper. How's it looking? Woo! So now it's just a little bit before 8 p.m. It's super rolly and bumpy here in the mooring in Descanso. You can hear the waves breaking and the bait pumps going in the boat next. Tonight at midnight starts lobster season, so this guy next to me is getting ready to go. Later, I think tonight. There's the casino. Looks like it's pretty clear of the island. Pretty good view of the stars. Probably don't show up on this camera well at night. And then looking towards the rest of California, it looks like there's clouds, maybe some fog settling in over the water. Hard to tell. It's 2:15. Debbie called and woke me up about 20 minutes ago. I haven't been able to get back to sleep yet. Just checked the forecast for tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be 7 to 9 knots, maybe a little less than that. So there's not going to be a lot of wind. It's going to be coming out of the southeast primarily, which I think should be okay. So it'll be a close reach or close haul, kind of depending upon where the wind's coming from. But shouldn't be right on my nose, which would be good. As far as I can tell, there's not a lot of fog out there this morning or tonight or whatever you want to call it. So that's not too bad. Heard some people dropping lobster pots just directly into the water. here at the moorings, I think. So since the season started at midnight, just a little bit after midnight, I could hear a couple splashes. So hopefully nobody was pulling a Natalie Wood, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. About 10 till 6. A little tired. It's been a little rocky early all damn night. So I think I'm going to make the coffee and start to wake up a little bit, and then try and figure out, check the weather, see what that looks like, wait for a little bit of light. I need some light to get out of the moorings and everything like that, but I'm going to try and take off pretty early. So that's my plan for this morning, but coffee's first. Alright, 10 till 6, got the motor warming up, getting the electronics set up here. That sound is the alternator kicking on, charging the battery. It's a 100 amp alternator, which is way oversized for this engine, but that's fine. Alright, 7:10 a.m. Had a good launch from the mooring. That was flawless. Didn't catch any kelp. There was a couple of big heads of kelp right around where I was moored, so I was a little bit worried about running into them. But after yesterday's well, that's good. Here's the anchorage. Moored right there, pretty close to probably about 5 or 6 boats in, all the way against the inner line of moorings by the casino. So about 32 miles to go still. Looks like it's gonna be pretty light winds, southeast. There's nothing here obviously because of the big ass island right here, but that may change once we get out under its shadow. Depends on which. I think the wind will kind of start to hook a little bit later in the day. Looks like a pretty popular time for people to leave Avalon heading back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boats out there. Well, one of those might be a fishing boat, but looks like everybody's bailing out. Most of them are power boats, so I don't know why they're leaving so early, because it doesn't take them long to get back. Probably they have to get to church, so they can repent for all the sinning they did this weekend on Avalon. Alright, I see a bunch of birds up here flying. Probably have some fish. I'm gonna throw a line in and see. Maybe I'll throw a couple lines in, see if I can hook something other than myself. What the hell, these two smaller boats out here? This is one of the things I love about sailing, or today motoring maybe, just how beautiful it is out here with the sun kind of peeking through the clouds, and great shot of Catalina. There's a little bit of fog back there on the island, but if you look over here real closely, I don't know if I'll show up on video, but I can see land. That's about 20-25 miles away, which is pretty good visibility. So most of the stuff's above the water. There's a little bit of a haze, and then it gets cooler. I had to get out my binoculars to see what the hell was going on here, but there are three paddleboarding from Avalon all the way over to Dana Point to Doheny Beach. So this is a chase boat. If the boat's popping up, and I don't know if you can see the people. I'd get a little bit closer, but I don't want to disturb these guys. They've got, you know, 25 miles left almost. So they've got a pretty long way to go. So I suspect I'm pretty much taking a beeline. So they might be heading a little bit over, going south, because there's a south wind that's going to push them back. So I suspect that's why they're taking that route. Looks like we've got some dolphins up here. Around these birds, I see some stuff splashing. Probably feeding, yep. I see the dolphins. There. Alright, about 9:15. I'm in the shipping lanes. We've got dolphins feeding, I'm guessing. Birds everywhere. I've got a couple lines out. So I've got a good feeling I'm going to break a line or lose a fishing pole. We'll see if we get something here. I should be a little bit over to port because that's where all the action is. Alright, you can see up there, finally got a little bit of a breeze and getting some on the beam, which means it's time to get some sails up. All right, 10:21, 17.8 miles to go. Motor is turned off and I'm sailing, finally. I think I'm all the way past through the shipping lanes at this point. Here's that 600 plus foot cargo ship or tanker I saw on radar and AIS. He's getting closer. Looks like he's pretty high. Maybe he's empty. I don't know. Get a little bit more wind. We're doing some sailing now. I like the speed I'm getting, so maybe reefing soon though. So if it holds like this would be better than perfect. Quite a bit of beam in the wind, which is pretty awesome. So it's a great, comfortable reach. We've got the Genoa, the staysail, and the full main. So I'm flying full canvas right now. Picked up a full knot, pretty much over what I was motoring. which is super nice too. So I'm actually making better speed under sail than it was under power. So I'm just gonna ride this as long as I can, and hopefully it'll take me all the way into Dana Point. We'll see. There's still 16, 17 miles left to go, so who knows. But if this holds, I'll be really, really happy with this voyage. A little bit before 1 p.m. I've been sailing for a while. It's a little bird. Finally another sailboat. Well, that was pretty interesting. I've been listening to the United States Navy warship letting vessels know they're conducting live fire exercises. So they're hailing some vehicle, some vessel, which is sounds like a fishing vessel that's too close to them. And as the Navy's hailing them, you can hear the machine guns in the background. It's pretty epic. So hopefully I can catch it on audio again if they transmit again.
117 degrees, 53 minutes west. This is warship 53. Approximately 6 nautical miles off your starboard bow. Hailing you on channel 16. Over.
Up on 2 o'clock, just a little over a mile out from Dana Point, so I guess it's time to fire up the engine. Had a great sail.